Namaste everyone. Manisha ji, please start the session with the introduction.
Namaste, Pallavi ji. I can't hear you.
Pallavi ji, you are on mute. You need to unmute.
Please unmute yourself, Pallavi ji.
Am I audible?
Yes.
But the voice is coming very low.
Yeah, now, can you hear me properly?
Shall I close my Bluetooth device?
Yeah. Whether shall we start the meeting?
Yes, we will start it.
Yeah. Sure. Namaste, everyone. Welcome all at Global Yoga Festival, an initiative taken by Dr. Vikas Chote sir and Shwetambari ma'am at Swasti Yoga Center. Myself, Manisha Garg, associated with Swasti Yoga Center from around 3 years. As you all know, Swasti Yoga Center is celebrating 75 years of Indian independence. This is a live platform where Swasti Yoga Center is trying to spread the knowledge and importance of yoga through various programs, workshops, prominent guest speakers, yoga and wellness discussion, live guiding sessions, panel discussions, quiz and essay competitions, bhajan, kirtan, and much more. So, I, Manisha Garg, as a member of Swasti Yoga family, appeal all our members to join this Azadi Amrut Mahotsav by Swasti Yoga Center. Now, let's start with our session today. I welcome our today's speaker, Pallavi Herwade ji. Pallavi ji has completed her Level 1 Yoga Protocol Instructor course with Swasti Yoga Center. Her professional objective is to work as a key player in challenging and creative environment where she can effectively contribute her skills and knowledge, and finally taking higher responsibilities where one should be adroit in both technical and managing skills. Her work experience is more than 5 years. She has been working with different companies at different posts, such as in the year 2020, she worked with Proficient Engineering Private Limited as a process engineer. In the year 2018, she worked with A Plus Projects and Technology Private Limited as proposal engineer. In the year 2012, she worked with KBK Chem Engineering Private Limited as a process engineer. Year 2010 to year 2012, she worked with Raj Process Equipments and Systems Private Limited as a project engineer, and much more. Well, that's great achievements, Pallavi ji. Now I request Pallavi ji to take over the session. Her topic is Veer Savarkar, the modern yogi. So Pallavi ji, please take over the session and start the session with prayer.
Yes, ma'am. Can you make me a co-host or allow me to share my screen?
Yeah, sure. Vedahi?
Yes, I'll do that.
Yes, now you can do, Pallavi ji.
Yeah.
You are the host now.
Okay. So first of all, I will share my PPT. Are you able to see?
Yes. Yes, Pallavi ji.
Okay. So we will start with Omkar chanting first. So I request all to close your eyes and take deep inhale. One deep inhale breath and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So we'll chant Omkar 3 times. Now join your palms. We will chant Patanjali prayer. Yogena chittasya padena vacha malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarotam pravaram muninam Patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi. Now gently rub your palms. Warm palms on your eyes. Feel the warmthness. Let the light enter between the gaps of your fingers. Blink your eyes. And open your eyes and hands down. And namaste. So, hello and namaste everyone. So I welcome you all who are present here today. And first of all, thanks to you, Dr. Vikas sir and Swasti team for giving me this opportunity to present my talk on the occasion of Global Yoga Festival. So let me introduce myself. I am a Pallavi, a chemical engineer and a yoga protocol instructor. So my today's topic is one of our freedom fighter, Veer Savarkar, who was a true karma yogi. We can call him as a true karma yogi. So reason for choosing this topic, as you know, Swasti Yoga Center has started to celebrate Global Yoga Festival to commemorate 75 years of independence, right? So I thought, why not to present a small talk on our freedom fighter, who we can call as a modern yogi. So this independence and freedom we are enjoying today is only because of our freedom fighters who had sacrificed their lives for our independence. And the history of India cannot be complete without mentioning the legendary Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. He is better known as a Veer Savarkar, and he carved a reputable niche for himself as an activist and freedom fighter who fiercely advocated for India's independence. So we should remember their sufferings also, as they are our inspiration. So we'll just go through his biography. Are you able to see my slides, biography?
Yes, we are able to see.
Yes. So his full name was Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, and he was born on May 28, 1883 in the village of Bhagur near Nasik. On last Saturday only, we have celebrated his birth anniversary. That was 28th May. And he passed away in February 26th, 1966 in Mumbai. So his education, he went to City Law School, London, 1909, and Ferguson College, which is in Pune. And he went to Wilson College, University of Mumbai. And in June 1906, he went to London to become barrister. And there he wrote a book, The Indian War of Independence, 1857, on India's struggle of independence, which was banned by Britishers. So when he was in London, he encouraged the Indian students in England against the British colonial masters. So he supported the use of arms, that is weapons, in India's struggle of independence. And he was also an activist who came up with the Hindutva concept, which is now the main form of nationalism in India. So Swatantra Veer Savarkar is very well known amongst the followers by the honorific prefix, that is Veer. Actually, Veer means a courageous person. So we call Veer. He was Indian politician, activist, writer, and he developed Hindu nationalist political ideology of Hindutva while imprisoned at Ratnagiri. Ratnagiri is in Maharashtra. In 1922, he was leading figure in the Hindu Mahasabha. So his by profession, he was barrister, politician, writer, activist, and he was barrister at the Honorable Society of Grays in London. So his prison journey was he was arrested in London and sent to India for trial. So, however, when the ship carrying him reached Marseille in France, Savarkar escaped, but was again arrested by the French police. So on December 24th, 1910, he was sentenced to jail in the Andamans. So his prison journey was like, he prisoned for various charges relating to subversion and incitement to war by the Britishers for about 50 years. He was shifted to Cellular jail, Andamans and Nicobar. 1 second. I just want to start my slideshow. Okay, no issues. So, why Veer Savarkar is called Karma Yogi? Because his all conduct was like a true Karma Yogi, and he followed this path all his life. And his I missed something, sorry. So no, we finished present journey. Yes. Yes. And he never had any aspirations as to where his conduct would lead him. And he was so committed to his work. So before we know why is karma yogi, we'll just discuss what is meant by a yogi. What does it mean to be a yogi? Actually, as we are seeing in this picture, there is one misconception in our society that yogi is like who has long white beard and who wears saffron attires. This picture is for reference only. So there are misconceptions. So this is not the right concept of yogi, right? Because we all have learned in yoga that is a yogi is the quality. This is the quality. However, becoming a yogi has more to do with the lifestyle than just act of yoga alone. So the yogi is one who is physically and mentally disciplined person, who has attained liberation from the material world and unites the self with the supreme being. So nowadays, most people think of yoga as a series of postures and breathing exercise they practice to gain control of their body and mind. But yoga is beyond that. We must understand and follow Yoga Sutra by Maharshi Patanjali to acquire yogic qualities, to attain wisdom and self-realization through yoga. So the hero of my today's topic, actually he is my hero because everyone is inspired by someone in their life. So I am very much inspired by his life. So he is my hero, and his autobiography is a guidebook which teaches me and everyone who knows him to overcome the challenges. So when he was in the prison, daily at the time of morning walk, he used to recall and understand Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Literally, he used to recall them and he used to think on them. So we know there are many paths in Bhagavad Gita mentioned there: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raj Yoga. And he was a person who always carried a Bhagavad Gita with him. And whenever Britishers wanted to torture him mentally, what they used to do was they take away Bhagavad Gita from him. So what he did, he found the solution for this. So he took complete Bhagavad Gita into memory. It is not easy. The Bhagavad Gita is a very big book and there are lots of difficult shlokas also. He took completely to memory. So copy of Bhagavad Gita with him or not, it didn't matter to him because he had completely memorized it and he had such a sharp intellect. It was not a difficult task for him. So as here in this slide, we are saying that Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. In brief, I will just tell what is Karma Yoga. The Karma Yoga, that is yoga of action and selfless service. Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion, Ishwar Pranidhan, we call. Jnana Yoga, the yoga of will and intellect, and Raj Yoga, the yoga of meditation. Amongst these paths, the Karma Yoga is very well suited for Veer Savarkar, because in next slide, for the Karma Yoga, we know there is one shloka in Bhagavad Gita, that is Karmanye Vadikaraste Ma Phaleshu Kadachana Ma Karma Phala Hetur Bhuma Mate Sangvastva Karmani. Actually, the meaning we all know, but I will again tell this meaning, that you have right to perform your prescribed duty, right? But you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Do not let the fruit be the purpose of your actions, and therefore you won't be attached to not being your duty. So this is from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 47, and this shloka always reflected in every action of Veer Savarkar. His extradition to India and eventual double life imprisonment, sentenced to be served at the infamous Kalapani prison. Actually, the double life imprisonment, it was for 50 years. And it is christened one of the darkest chapter in Savarkar's life. Kalapani ki saza was dreaded by even by worst kind of offenders. It was believed who gets Kalapani ki saza never returns back. In that Kalapani ki saza duration, the Andaman Nicobar cellular jail where prisoners were they're putting, it is called as a Kalapani ki saza, because that cellular jail is surrounded by the sea. So there was no any hope to any prisoner to escape from there. That's why the name came. So in that Kalapani ki saza duration, his daily routine was like every morning he had usual walk in the square below of his cell, and during that hour he recited the Yoga Sutras and thought upon them and their order and context. Then he returned to his cell and sent himself to do work assigned to him as a prisoner on hard labor. So he accepted the situation he put in. He did his swadhyay daily, also surrendered to God, that is Ishwar Pranidhan. So his goddess was Bharat Mata. Bharat Mata, we in India, for India, we are calling as a Bharat Mata. So unka Shraddha Sthan Bharat Mata tha. And he did his swadhyay by writing the poems on the prison walls with thorns and nails. Memorized 10,000 lines of his poetry for years. Later transmitted to India through his fellow prisoners. And his very famous poems are Sagara Prana Talmala, Jayostute. Jayostute means victory to you, are very much popular and are included in educational system also. Whenever he used to write on the walls of prison, he used to write on the walls of prison. But the British used to wipe out them, but he didn't get disappointed. He took it as a positively. What he thought is, it is good they are wiping it, so that I can write it new. I can create something new on that wall. That much he was positive, and he was very mentally strong, that he didn't get afraid of Kalapani punishment. So he remained in jail for 15 years, out of which he spent 10 years in Kalapani, which was considered most dreadful prison. Apart from this, he was also under house arrest for 13 years in Ratnagiri district of Maharashtra. So he lived 83 years. But out of that, almost 28 years he spent in prison. So this is the cellular jail of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. You can see this jail is surrounded by sea water, and in this jail you can see here his small cell. He has spent almost 10 years in that small room, and only there is a small window at the top of the room. You can see here. Yes. And he was reportedly restrained in chains and flogged and tied to the mill. I will show you in next slides. Yes, this kind of mill was there, and all prisoners have to extract oil from that mill. So he was tied to the mill. He was made to extract oil all day. It is not possible for us to extract oil for 10 minutes also, but he used to do that for whole day. And if being denied even basic access to toilets or water also. By some accounts, he was often forced to eat rotten food infested with worms and insects as a punishment for his crime against the government. So, unlike the numerous political prisoners who were driven to insanity or committed suicide, where Savarkar showed remarkable resilience and was ultimately rewarded for it in May 2, 1921. That is, he released and brought back to India. And again, he put into the Ratnagiri jail. Ratnagiri is in Maharashtra. And then to the Herwade jail. So the book Hindutva was written in Ratnagiri jail. So he was released from jail on January 6th, 1924. When the prisoners was not unable to complete this task, that is extracting oil from this oil mill, there was another punishment for that, that is flogging. They use some kind of rod or belt, and they used to hit the prisoners like this. By, you can see in this picture. So when he was in house arrest in the Ratnagiri district under observation, and daring to those conditions, he still carried out his task when it was not possible for him to take active part in politics because of the conditions put on him. Then he actively engaged himself in social reform. He went against orthodoxies, and many of us don't know, or you may not knowing that before Gandhiji and before Ambedkar ji, Veer Savarkar was the first person who eradicated the evil practice of untouchability in Ratnagiri. He made their Patit Pavan temple, where he gave equal treatment to lower class people. Also, he used to serve food to Dalits. He used to keep them at par with everybody else. He even presented monetary incentives to parents and distributed chalks and slates to the kids from the lower caste to encourage them to seek education. He threw himself into literature and his work was so inspiring that all the revolutionaries, including Bhagat Singh, used to come to him. In fact, the interesting part is that his first book, which created a commotion, first book that was called First War of Independence, it is probably the only book in history that was banned even before it was published. So ultimately, after he was released, copy was procured somehow, and the Bhagat Singh came to him and got a copy somehow. After that, it was printed and got published by Bhagat Singh only. So, and it was some kind of guidebook for all the revolutionaries, and especially revolutionaries of the Hindustan Republic Army, of which Bhagat Singh was member. Chandrasekhar Azad was a member. So he inspired these peoples through his writings, through his literature, and all this while he was under observation, under confinement to a district. So the question comes, how one could achieve all these things and overcome all the worst situations. It is only possible if one is mentally strong and fit, right? So to be a mentally strong, it's been told in a Yoga Sutra also, to overcome kleshas. So before going to kleshas, I would like to ask if anyone remembers the kleshas. Just simply asking, it's not a question. Otherwise, I will tell. So, okay. We know there are 5 kleshas and their significance in mental health, right? So, Veer Savarkar, modern yogi, had overcome all the 5 kleshas, and there is a one Yoga Sutra in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that is Avidya Asmita Raga Dvesha Abhinivesha Panchaklesha. That is, avidya is ignorance, we know. Asmita is egoism. Raga, attachment. Dvesha is aversion. And abhinivesha, fear of death, that is clinging to life. So Veer Savarkar had overcome all these kleshas. That's why he was mentally so strong. So these kleshas are responsible for all our sufferings in life. And Veer Savarkar had overcome all of these kleshas, especially abhinivesha, that is fear of death. He never feared of death. That he used to say is, I will say it in Hindi because it is very difficult to translate in English, but I will describe in short. काल means death. काल स्वयं मुझसे डरा है, मैं काल से नहीं. काले पानी का काल कुट पीकर, काल के कराल स्तंभों को झकझोर कर मैं बार बार लौट आया हूं और आज भी जीवित हूं. हारी मृत्यु है, मैं नहीं. Means he is challenging to the death. He never scared of this death, and he's telling that I always won over my death. This is the short meaning of this, we can say. So we can see here in a picture form the kleshas: avidya, dvesh, rag, asmita, abhinivesh. And he also overcome all the yamas and niyamas also. Just briefly, I will tell them. We know the yamas, that is social restraint, ahimsa, satya, asatya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, and niyamas, saucha, Swadhyay, Ishwar Pranidhan, he used to follow that, Santosh, and Tapas. He followed Tapas also. So before that, one thing also I would like to share of his, that this is the India's flag that he designed. Now the Indian flag is design of Indian flag is different. We all know that, but this is the flag he designed with the help of Shamji Krishna Verma, Madam Bhikaji Kama in 1907, and it was made up of 3 colors: saffron, green, and yellow. Yellow in the middle, and Vande Mataram is written there. So this flag was also known as Madam Bhikaji Kama flag or Berlin Committee flag, as this was the first time posted in Germany. So he designed this flag in 1907. So 6 leadership lessons from his lives are: first is a vision. So great leaders are visionaries. We know that they can see far into the future, well beyond the abilities of others. The visionary zeal made Veer Savarkar become a member of the Hindu Mahasabha. He popularized the term Hinduness, or better known as Hindutva. Even when it was very controversial, the essence of this move was to create a sense of Hindu identity that was predicted on India, Bharat. His Hindutva was free from caste discrimination. This is very important. Caste discrimination and other indigenous practices that were breaking Hinduism. So on Hindu festival like Diwali, Dasehra, Sankranti, Veer Savarkar would visit homes accompanied by people from different castes and distribute sweets. His vision for united Hinduism is commendable. So the next leadership lesson from his life is passion for learning and teaching. So to be a good leader means you must be a well-informed and knowledgeable. So Veer Savarkar stopped at nothing. He stopped at nothing when it comes to education. However, education didn't just mean entering a college and giving papers. Savarkar helped other students understand the struggle of Bharat under the British occupation. In early May 1907, while in London, Veer Savarkar organized the celebration of the 50th anniversary of Indian Rebellion of 1857 at Tilak House, 78 Goldsmith Avenue, London. Students wore badges with the legend "Honor of the Martyrs of 1857." This was the way Savarkar educated others. So the next lesson is resilience. So Veer Savarkar was confronted with a lot of challenges, but he remained resilient. And while in Pune as a student, he was in Pune, he established a secret organization called Abhinav Bharat Society in 1904 with his brother Ganesh Damodar Savarkar. So he didn't stop at this and went ahead to become a member of the Free India Society and the India House. And he became an author of several books calling for the total independence of India from Britain. And even after undergoing nearly 15 years of worst imprisonment in the Andamans, Veer Savarkar focused on the social reforms. after his release, he never gave up. That is most important thing of Veer Savarkar, that he never gave up. And the next lesson, leadership lesson, is courage. So Veer Savarkar was so brave that he confronted what was the greatest power on earth at that time. It was the British Empire. He boldly called for the total independence of India and even advocated for revolution. He insisted that India must become free. He published books that were so inflammatory and inciting that the British authorities banned them. These were books like the Indian Wars of Independence I mentioned earlier, which focus on the Indian rebellion of 1857. He opposed even Gandhiji and other tall leaders also. Indian National Congress to save India from partition. He was so courageous person. So next point is pragmatism. So excellent leader is a master of pragmatism, as he or she knows when to be a practical, when theoretical. Veer Savarkar was critical of the decision taken by the Congress Working Committee in its Wardha session of 1942. Passed a resolution which said to the British, quit India, but keep your armies here, which was the reinstallation of British military rule over India, which he felt would be much worse. Savarkar knew the British army presence in India is practically a must-lose situation. He was knowing that. And so he opposed that move also. And the last but not the least, the patience. The patience in these days we are lacking of, that he was having lots of patience. He went through a lot in life, from imprisonment on the Andamans and Nicobar's island to his extradition from the United Kingdom. However, he took everything in a good stride and exhibited the highest levels of patience, which nowadays we lack. Everyone trying to be, but we lack sometimes. He wrote numerous books and essays while in jail and didn't lose sight of Hindutva. So, in my opinion, Veer Savarkar reflects many lessons that, if embraced or followed by us, it can transform our life. So, thank you everyone for listening me patiently. If you have any suggestions, opinions, queries, please ask. This was the different topic that I chose.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Pallavi ji.
Thank you.
Yes, it was very interesting for me because I don't know Sir Veer Savarkar, and it's very, very interesting that your presentation to allow me to have a parallel with this life, very very completely very ascetic somewhere, and with Bhakti Yoga, and it's very, very interesting for me. And probably I need to buy some of this book and read it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pallavi ji. Your session was really very much informative. Actually, in today's fast-paced and busy life, we have forgotten all our ancient Indian personalities and
Yes.
all our fighters. So your session was really very nice. You made us remember all our fighters, not only Veer Savarkar, but all other freedom fighters also.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Pallavi ji, for making our memories refresh that we learned in our school days.
Yes. But why I chose Veer Savarkar? Because the punishment he suffered and he undergone, he suffered in Andaman and Nicobar cellular jail, that very few, all freedom fighters have suffered, but he suffered a lot. 10 years is not a joke. We cannot, there many prisoners was there who committed to suicide. They cannot bear that punishment, and he still completed that punishment. So it was a very, he's such a inspirational person for me. Whenever I find difficulties in my life, I find any little, sometimes we get upset on small things, depressed on small things. I used to recall his stories, his sufferings, and it gives me some kind of power and energy to overcome my situations, because our situations are very, very small as compared to the situation.
Yes, thank you so much. A big round of applause for Pallavi ji. Please unmute yourself and give a round of applause.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
yes, you want to say something, Pallavi ji?
yes, shall we chant Shanti Mantra?
Yeah, just a sec. Huh? We'll give a small vote of thanks from Swasti Yoga Center.
Okay.
Vaidehi, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Pallavi ji, can you make me host?
Pardon?
Can you make Vaidehi a host, Pallavi ji?
Where is the option?
You need to stop share first.
Just stop sharing your screen. You'll see the option.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, this is a small vote of thanks from Swasti Yoga Center for Pallavi ji.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, now something
Thank you
about
so much.
tomorrow's session. Tomorrow's session will be taken up by Rajendra Chote sir, which is going to be an interesting session. His topic is cycling, a new age mantra for health and environment conservation. So I request all of you to please join and attend our tomorrow's session. Thank you so much. Pallavi ji, you can continue with the prayer.
Yes. So everyone, join your palms, close your eyes. Now we'll chant Shanti Mantra. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.